Заклучоците што министрите за надворешни работи на земјите членки на Унијата ги усвоија за Македонија во вторникот во Луксембург се предмет на различни интерпретација, но многу лесно можеше да се случи воопшто и да ги нема. Повеќе часовните напори да се убедат скептичните Франција и Холандија, поддржани од Данска, доцна по планетот тој ден, се чинеше дека не дале резултат. Но тогаш, сведочат присутни, на сцена стапил министерот за надворешни работи на Луксембург, Жан Аселборн, пошто се стигнало до компромис. Ова е поводот за интервјуто што денеска го направивме овде во Луксембург со шефот на луксембуршката дипломатија, која е на таа позиција од далечната 2004 година и е со најдолг стаж меѓу европските колеги. Minister, when on Tuesday afternoon leaving General Affairs Council, German Minister for Europe, Michael Roth, told reporters that the discussion for Macedonia was a disappointing one, it seemed like that the foreign ministers of the European Union wouldn't be able to agree on conclusions for Macedonia and Albania. But an hour later, another news came. What happened? Some say that you had a crucial role to play.
I don't know if it was a crucial role, but listen, I remember 2 years ago, in 2016, no conclusions on enlargement, and we cannot repeat this every 2 years. So I tried at the end to tell my colleagues and also the presidency, are we not able to find a solution here? Because there was a discussion about some words and some sentences. And in my head, I saw in 2005 when Macedonia became the candidate status, they had to wait 13 years, we know why. Now we are in 2018, and I think that this promise in 2003 in Saloniki, that every country on the Balkans will have the possibility to join the European Union if the conditions are fulfilled. And now there is a very important condition that is now fulfilled. There is an agreement now after 13 years between Athens and Skopje about the name of your country. And I think we cannot leave. I said we cannot leave now the room without any decision. If we postpone it to the next General Affairs Council or to the European Council, we have to fulfill our yes, it's our duty to find a solution. And so it was really the last moment, yes. But I think at the end everybody was happy that as a dean, I am the dean of the ministers. That's not an honor to be the dean, but I have a certain experience. And I said, okay, let's try again. And there was an interruption of the meeting. And shortly after, I think before 7 o'clock in the evening, we found a solution.
You mentioned that there was a debate over some phrases and formulations. In the conclusions, there is no verb decision. There is a phrase agrees to respond positively, and there is no verb opening, but sets out. Are these the key compromise formulations?
Yes. If you, I just repeated the example. If you say, I decide to go to the railway station, so that's the same as if you say, I go to the railway station. And though you can avoid this discussion about agreed or decides, but you go straight away to the negotiations.
In the end, you received applause from some colleagues like the Hungarians, which was not expected.
Yes, that's new. No, but I think that the big majority of the colleagues had been happy, maybe some others not so happy, but at the end of the day, I think we have done our job, yes.
What was the role of the Bulgarian presidency and the Greek representatives in the whole process of finding the right
Katarina, the foreign minister, tried really to do her best. It's always very difficult to be in the presidency if you see that some positions are now, how can you say, some positions they are like frozen. And every presidency has its methods, but here at the beginning of the meeting, I saw really that some countries really said, that's our position and we don't want to change this position. But again, let me tell you that it's not about positions in a certain moment. It's about the interest of the European Union, and the interest of the European Union is to go in the right direction. The stabilization in your region, we know that we have a lot of difficulties to solve there. But if we have one difficulty is solved, and this is solved, I think. I cannot imagine that people in your country will say no, and I cannot see any reason why the people in Greece would say no. So, and therefore, we have to give an encouragement, and not to say, okay, it's up to you to decide, and then we will decide. No, that was, I think it was the right way.
You mentioned the right direction and the problems and the issues that are going on in the European Union. Isn't it a bit disappointing that Macron and Rutte are in power in France and Netherlands, and at the end it looks like that the far-right leaders, Le Pen and Wilders, are making the decisions in the name of these two important countries?
I don't want to put really Rutte and Macron in the same basket than Le Pen. That's another reason. I think that Macron, and he's not alone in the European Union, his attitude is, first we have to deepen the European Union and then to enlarge. And you saw in all these years, the Dutch position was always the same. Now, I am not here to blame Macron or Rutte, France, or the Netherlands. I can only tell you that there was a flexibility on the end, and we took the opportunity.
In Macedonia, authorities say that the conclusion means a date for start of the negotiation. The opposition claims that now the state experienced just only one more defeat. How do you read the conclusions, and can Macedonia hope for start the negotiations in June 2019?
I think the democracy, also in your country, it's very important, and you have voices in favor and you have voices who are more skeptical. I can tell you that next year this will not be repeated. And that depends also on you. If I say on you, first, what will happen now with the solution of the name? And secondly, and that's more important, the reforms, they are not done to be a good student in the European Union, to be a good country in the European Union. It's done for yourself. And I think here it must be a push really to reform the judiciary, corruption, all these important things, and to bring your country on a better track. That's the most important. It's for you. And I think the debate between government and opposition, that's in every country, okay, that's democracy. And I hope that it will function.
European Commission, which is run by your countryman, Jean-Claude Juncker, sets out 2025 as the first possible date of accession of new member states. Is it realistic, 2025?
I don't play with dates, because, you know, I remember in 2005, everybody said in 2015 all the Balkan countries will be members of the European Union. Now we speak about 2025. No, I don't want to speculate on dates.
As a country member of NATO, can you confirm statements given by Secretary General Stoltenberg that on next week's summit in Brussels, Macedonia will receive invitation for membership into the alliance?
It's on the agenda. And I think till now I didn't got any opposition to this proposition. So, but let's see. Let's see, it's 12th of July, so we will see. I know that NATO is very important also for your country. I think that this step is not a step against somebody, not a step against the big country in the eastern side of Europe. It's a step for more security in your country. And I think that NATO in the next years, we have to, it's really a debate about NATO. It's not only 2% for NATO for defense, for money for defense. It's about the, let's say, the orientation of NATO, and also the expectation what NATO needs to do and what NATO is. I can only tell you that from my side, NATO is, like the European Union, also an entity where rule of law must be a priority for every country in NATO. Those who are entering and those who are inside also. And this is also a debate that we have to, not everything is very clear in some member countries of NATO. And so I hope that you really, as, I don't know if I can say the name, North Macedonia, if you, it's not about you that I say this, but NATO, if NATO can give you more security and to your people more security, I think it's also a positive effect.
Thank you very much, Minister.